Imagine this. You've studied English for years. You know the grammar, you know the vocabulary, but the moment you speak, people tilt their heads and say, "Sorry, could you repeat that?" That's what happened to Luis, a young man from Mexico. Luis could write essays in English. He could read novels, but when he ordered coffee, people gave him confused stares. One day, he asked for a sheet of paper, but the shopkeeper thought he said something rude. He wanted to talk about the beach, but it came out as a really bad word. That night, he thought to himself, "Why is my English always misunderstood? I know the words, but they don't hear me correctly." Luis didn't know it yet, but he was about to discover the pronunciation secrets nobody tells you. And these secrets would completely change his English forever. The next morning, Luis went to an English club. The teacher, Sarah, asked someone to read aloud. The sentence was, "Though the tough man went through a thought." Luis laughed. "This is impossible." Sarah smiled. "That's the first secret. English spelling does not match English sound." She wrote it on the board. Though, tough, through, thought. Luis shook his head. "Same letters, different sounds. This is crazy." Sarah explained, "In languages like Spanish or Arabic, spelling matches pronunciation. In English, you must learn by listening, not by just reading." Luis started listening carefully. He realized that trusting the spelling had been his biggest mistake. That week, he practiced with words like cough, bow, enough, dough. Each one looks similar, but they sound completely different. At work, he made mistakes. He told his boss, "This problem is very thorough." His boss laughed. "Do you mean tough?" Luis left embarrassed, but he always felt excited. He finally understood that the real English lived in sound, not letters. One evening, Luis sat in a cafe listening to two Americans talk. He thought, they speak so fast. I can't catch every word. But then he noticed something strange. They didn't say every word clearly. Instead of, "I am going to eat," they say, "I'm going to eat." Instead of, "Do you want to," they said, "Do you wanna?" It wasn't speed. It was rhythm and melody. Sarah explained it to him. English is like music. Some words are stressed, others are weak. Listen, I want a cup of coffee. I want a cup of coffee. Luis practiced clapping. Da, 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 da. Stress, weak, stress, weak. He started copying the rhythm of songs, movies, and conversations. Soon, instead of sounding robotic, his English had a natural beat. The next challenge was sounds. Luis's biggest enemy was th. He always said "thank you" instead of "thank you." Sarah showed him a mirror. Stick your tongue between your teeth. Let the air escape. Think, thank, Thursday. At first, Luis felt silly, like I do right now. But with practice, it became natural. Another mistake was vowels. Ship versus sheep. Live versus leave. And then Sarah explained. it's not about accent. It's about mouth shape and vowel length. Luis practiced in front of the mirror every day. He exaggerated mouth positions like an actor, and slowly people stopped laughing when he said beach. One night, Luis watched a movie. The subtitle said, "What do you want to do?" But what he heard was, "What do you want to do?" He thought, "Did I mishear that?" Sarah laughed. That's the next secret. Native speakers link words together. Want to becomes wanna. Going to becomes gonna. Did you becomes didya. Got to becomes gotta. Luis practiced dialogues. I want to go. I'm gonna eat. Did you see that? At first, it felt lazy, but then he realized linking words is what makes you sound natural. Luis's biggest breakthrough came when he recorded his own voice. At first, he hated it. Do I really sound like that? But then he compared his recordings to native speakers. He noticed he stressed the wrong syllable. He spoke too flat without melody. And he sometimes skipped sounds. By recording and comparing every single day, Luis improved faster in 6 months than in 6 years of studying. Sarah told him recording is like holding a mirror to your voice. It shows you mistakes you can't hear in your head. 6 months later, Luis traveled to New York. At the airport, he ordered food. For the first time, the cashier didn't say, "Sorry?" At a store, he asked for a sheet of paper, and nobody misunderstood. On the subway, he chatted with a stranger, and he said, "Wow, your English is really clear." In a job interview, the manager said, "We're impressed with your communication skills." Luis realized that pronunciation wasn't about perfection. It was about clarity and confidence. And here's the truth. You don't need to sound 100% like a native speaker. You don't need to have a perfect accent. But what you do need is, 1, don't trust spelling. You need to learn the sounds. 2, learn the rhythm. English is music. Make it just that. 3, practice your mouth positions, even if you feel silly in front of a mirror. 4, link your words together. Don't be scared of saying, "Do you wanna?" or "I'm gonna." 5, record yourself and improve. I know we don't like listening to ourselves all the time, but this can make a huge impact. Luis did it, and so can you. The next time someone says, "Sorry, I didn't understand," you'll smile and think, that was the old me. The new me speaks clearly. So now you know the pronunciation secrets nobody told you before. Remember, pronunciation is not about sounding perfect. It's about being clear, confident, and understood. If Luis can transform his English by practicing these small steps every day, then you can too. All it takes is consistency. Here's your challenge. Tonight, record yourself speaking 1 paragraph in English. Listen to it. Compare it to a native speaker. Do this for 7 days straight, and I promise you'll hear the difference. And if this video helped you, don't stop here. Hit that like button so more learners can find it. Subscribe if you want more long lessons, stories, and secrets that teachers don't usually share. And in the comments, tell me, which pronunciation mistake do you struggle with the most? I read every comment and I'll reply with tips. This is your journey. Don't wait for the perfect time. Start now. The only way to sound natural in English is to begin today. I'll see you in the next lesson. Until then, keep practicing and keep speaking with confidence.